that they're going to be in trouble, right? And so that's the situation that we found ourselves in. I'm happy to say that there's a lot of people getting involved. First of all, thanks for all coming out. This is super short notice. We haven't even really had time to get organized as an organization, but if they think that we got loud this week, they haven't seen anything yet. There's national organizations getting involved. There's every political party getting involved. There's people within the government right now that are panicked and that are on our side, that are fighting for a change immediately for this. So I would just say to them that I hope you're hearing us. And what we're asking for is we need an interim policy now so that these companies can continue to operate. We're not asking for a handout. We're not asking for a rebate. Keep your rebates if you want to. What we're saying is we can stand on our own, but we need to have access to the grid. And I think it's very clear from the tens of thousands of people in Saskatchewan who are requesting quotes, who are interested in solar. People want to have the ability to generate their own power, and they should have the ability to generate their own power. So is it September 27th, right? Next Friday? Next Friday, there's going to be another rally at the Legislative Building. I hope all the solar companies in Saskatchewan and all the electrical contractors roll out all their trucks, roll out all their equipment, all their employees, all their friends, everybody that's been interested in solar and can't go solar now, and we're going to make a splash. Like I said, there's First Nations groups that are getting involved now. There's CanSIA that's getting involved now. There's politicians at every level of government, federal, provincial, that are getting involved, and it's going to get a lot more. It's going to get a lot louder, and we need to have a solution here, because right now Saskatchewan, it's embarrassing. We're the only province in North America right now. We're the only jurisdiction in North America not to have an interconnection policy. Like, we're back in the Stone Age. And so if we've got a government that's saying that we can have a Made in Saskatchewan climate plan, that we don't need a carbon tax, and at the same time cut off an industry and kill a bunch of jobs, you can't circle that square. So I hope that they're going to come out very soon and with an interim policy. So we look forward to that. Thanks very much for coming out. Keep being loud, keep sharing and liking this on social media. I know it's been going crazy. There's a petition right now that's blowing up. If you haven't signed it, it's on change.org. Go sign it. And reach out to your elected representatives. Reach out to the media. Let them know what it means for your jobs, because for us, it means that if this doesn't change, it's very likely that at least 80% of our staff are going to be laid off. And we're not gonna let that happen without a fight. So thanks for coming.
Thank you, Miguel, and all of you, for all of you installers in particular, and people who work in the industry. My name is Josh Campbell, and I'm here on behalf of Wascana Solar Co-op. And our role is to get people in the province plugged into solar through two different programs, but also we have a mandate to advocate for solar and the solar industry. And I just want to thank the media as well for being here and for paying attention to this issue. I find it interesting, even reading this morning on comments, people still think that this is just a rebate that's being taken away, not that the whole industry is being cut off with the net metering program. So I think there's still some work to be done in terms of education to the public on this issue. So if that work can continue to be done, that's great. And definitely, so I just want all you installers to know, and on behalf of our membership, that we are here to support this industry and to advocate for the industry. It's, as Miguel said, it's unacceptable, the lack of foresight on this decision. And I mentioned this in an interview, but I talked with the SaskPower rep the other day, and they said, well, we didn't see this coming, and we only have 4 board meetings a year. And I just thought, well, I'm part of a board, and if something like this happens, we meet that night or this week and we discuss it. And so I don't know what kind of reasoning that is, that our next scheduled meeting isn't yet. I hope that's happening maybe this weekend for them, I'm not sure. But anyways, it's just that's unacceptable. And to say that I also was involved in the first group buy, and Skyfire was the company who, one of the companies who won our bid and put solar up on my house, and to tell me as a small power producer that, my contribution is basically not worth it or doesn't matter, as someone who, not only cares about the economics but the environment, and it's just interesting coming from a government often tells us, especially more right-leaning governments tell us that individuals have to make the difference, and we don't see as much change in terms of government policy, but you individuals, it's on you. And then to take away the opportunity I have to contribute to this issue is anyways, you guys get my point. It's something that bothered me a lot, and that was something else that the Sask Power person told me, is that we don't see a significant contribution from smaller people. And I just remember we had our first presentation when we first started the co-op. Stephen Hall, some of you might know him, did a presentation, and he talked about the idea of the internet and how the internet spread when it first started, and it was these little pockets that just started spreading and popping up and then connecting. And that image, he just said, I can see that happening with solar in Saskatchewan, and indeed it has been happening, as you installers have been saying. And so this is the kind of the small scale, large impact is what's being taken away here. And so I really hope too that the government reconsiders their position on this and at least find some kind of middle road. I mean, as Miguel mentioned, taking the rebate away and some of these other incentives, let's see if the market still dictates that this is going to grow, and I think it will. So thank you.
Good words, Josh. Trent Weatherspoon is my name. I'm an MLA with the Saskatchewan NDP, the official opposition in the province. I'm here today with my colleague Carla Beck, MLA for Lakeview, also with the Saskatchewan NDP. It's great to see Honourable Ralph Goodale, Member of Parliament, here as well. Thank you so much for coming together in wake of a really indecent decision when you look at the impact on the livelihoods that are affected, and a decision that defies common sense. It's just frickin' backwards that the Sask Party would shutter this burgeoning industry that stands on its own 2 feet, that's been growing in such a significant way, creating employment and reducing emissions. Power that's so affordable, sustainable, and that takes a load off of the generation required from Sask Power. So what you're doing today is very important. I think of those workers I've chatted with here today, some engineers and some electricians who don't know what they're going to be doing next week. And I think that's a real sad thing. And I think it is ruthless and wrong for a government to go about changing a policy like this. And it doesn't make any sense from an economic perspective. It doesn't make sense from a financial perspective when you look at affordability. And it certainly doesn't make sense when you think of the real practical way we can live up to our obligations and reduce emissions today across Saskatchewan. So know, as we stand at this juncture, that the Saskatchewan NDP stand with you. We've pushed long and hard in the legislature to get to the place we are here today by way of the program. We see something much more ambitious. We think we can turn the dial tomorrow to fire up hundreds of jobs across Saskatchewan and to provide affordable, sustainable power, all while reducing emissions and creating benefits for farms, for homeowners, for businesses, for First Nations, for public infrastructure to be a part of this project. I want to say to those that have created this industry, the businesses, the leaders, the workers, thank you for what you've built in Saskatchewan. It's been so exciting to see it start to take hold despite limited interest by the Sask Party government. But really, you've just scratched the surface of the potential, and it bothers me so much that the expertise and the skilled labor and the efficiency that you're building out could be directly at risk by having this program halted and have those jobs lost. So we stand with you. We're calling for this to be reversed. You're doing the right thing by pushing hard right now, because there's a chance that a government recognizes that their decision not only is wrong, but it's very unpopular as well. So the public is behind you. We'll be there next week at the rally. We'll be active throughout the week calling for change. We want this decision to be reversed immediately, and that's what we'll do. Short of that, if we have to persist on, an election's a year away, and to fire up renewable power across Saskatchewan, we might have to change about 41 dim bulbs in the legislature. It's a pleasure to be here today. Thanks for what you bring to the province.